Hi, hello. Welcome to another episode of Isaiah's Newsstand. It's your host, Isaiah Edwards. The date is June the 7th, 2023. Hope this episode finds you well, in good spirits, and high hopes. Hopefully you're breathing well. We'll definitely be getting to that. But, air quality is pretty fucking rough today. It's a hump day for sure. Hopefully you're well hydrated. You're well fed. I'm praying for that. I'm vibing for that, okay? As for me, I've yet to eat my meal, as is tradition, my big meal for the day. But we're gonna get there. I'm gonna get to whipping after this. Let's see here. The day was like I say, it was good. It was, or maybe I haven't said that yet. I'm good. I'm solid. Um, but gotta say, this is one of the cons of my job. I'm gonna get into a little bit of a whine for you. Cry corner. No, so I work with trash. I'm a trash guy. um, I get a new cardboard dumpster every day. That's usually where I work, and that's usually like the upside of my job. More times than not, it's usually not stinky, actually, which is nice. Like, it's just a normal cardboard, doesn't smell weird unless like somehow it got rained on, because that sometimes can happen with boxes. They come through from shipping somehow and they get wet. Those are the L's. Those boxes smell just terrible. But the only time I have usually a stink issue is if I have to handle the other compactor, which has all the other trash, and like maybe like a bag burst or something like that. Otherwise, it's just like textbook trash bag, whatever. But when we get new dumpsters, new compactors, I should say, sometimes from whenever they were from before, they just couldn't purge the smell. And so it's just the most rank thing. So I come into work and I can smell this like literally like yards away before I even get to the compactor. I'm like, what is that? Where is that coming? Oh my God. And so yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And I knew that the only thing I could really do was just throw cardboard. You know what I mean? Like, if I can fill it with cardboard, it doesn't smell as bad. It's almost like the cardboard works as an absorbent. But the problem here is, by the time I get anywhere close to dealing with that, getting that to that part, it's already like sapped on me. And I definitely like got home. I was doing some research and I just smelled I'm like, ugh, I cannot wait to take a shower. I'm so ready. But overall the day was good. It was fine. Just being a little stinker. But yeah. Trying to think, is there anything else I really want to talk about work wise, life wise? No, I think we're good. I'm gonna go ahead and schmick the bird, if you will. Excuse my French. Actually, speaking of the moment, I remember what I wanted to add. So the smell was so bad, but an idea came to me. And this idea was not a good idea. I don't advise it. Part of the reason why this is a adult broadcast, whatever, podcast. Um, I was like, oh, my coworker, he always smokes. He rolls his own little cigarettes. He always keeps them on him. He always lets people bum off of him. And I was like, I normally don't do this unless it's like a slow day and there's something to do. But this shit smells so bad. I want to cover myself in a cigarette smell to just kind of just shake it up a bit, okay? Like, just, I would rather smell smoke. I mean, that's me. I don't hate the smell of smoke. I know a lot of people don't like it. I definitely don't like waking up and realizing, like, oh, like, that's how my clothes smell. Like, ew, something like that. Like, that's gross. But overall, I don't hate a smoke smell. That's fine. But so I was like, oh yeah, let's go ahead and smoke a dart. And he was down. He let me bum one. And I gotta say, I probably picked the worst day of the year to decide to do that. But once again, we will get to that. I'm teasing on a teaser. But let's go ahead and talk about some news from the Associated Press. 8 young workers at drug cartel call center killed. Bodies placed in bags. So it's pretty grisly. I'm going to just start right off the gate with that. As many as 8 young workers were confirmed dead Tuesday in Mexico after they apparently tried to quit jobs at a call center operated by a violent drug cartel that targeted Americans in a real estate scam. Now, this real estate scam is kind of weirdly, I don't want to say ironic or whatever. It just kind of falls in line with the podcast, actually. We just talked about timeshare fraud and shit like that. This was actually a similar kind of situation to more like the pig butchering thing we've discussed before, where we're doing like phone scams and we're getting people to like give you money through a series of conversation, like, oh, who are you? Da, da, da. But this was like a little bit more sophisticated in the sense of the people who are running the scam, or the people operating the scam, in in situation like the young workers, they had a delivery or a pitch that like was using actual like documents, or at least they looked official. So this whole timeshare scheme looks a lot more official, and you go along with it until you wind up giving them money, and then it all dissolves. So these workers were trying to get out of the situation. They were trying to leave. They wanted to be done. And essentially they said, oh, nope, you're done then. And I was really, really fucking sad. Let's see here. A total of 6 men and 2 women were reported missing between May 20th and May 22nd. But the forensic examiners did not mention the number of confirmed identities. There have been doubts about whether one of the youths was among the bodies found. The name of the cartel is Jalisco New Generation Cartel, which I gotta say, if you just replace the name of cartel, if you replace that with church, I would be like, oh yeah, Jalisco New Generation Church. Like, I would think this is some like Baptist experience or something. No, it turns out this is a little bit of a, a little bit of a gang. They say Mexico's most violent gang, but it's, I don't know. If you're already saying cartel, you're telling me all I need to know here. I've kind of had this little bit of gripe for the past couple months of just being like, yo, I get it. Like, this is a gang. They're doing crime. This is a brutal affair. They really use the brain. They really start flourishing a lot, and I kind of don't like that. But whatever. I thought that name was interesting. Let's see here. There wasn't a motive, but at least the Jalisco officials did not offer a motive in the killings. But I mean, I don't know. I think it's just one of those situations where you're not going to leave on your own terms. That's just how this is, sadly, which is really fucked up. Essentially, it's making you literally, chained to your job, So, yeah, I mean, essentially, something like this is like, yeah, if you were to leave, that would be a bad look, because then it makes it seem like other people can just walk away from this operation. That's not how this is going to be. So yeah, I mean, essentially it potentially could have been like making an example, whatever. But yeah, all around a bad scene, and a strange cocktail of just things I've kind of seen over the past just few months in stories. Just really a lethal situation. But yeah, let's see. Let's something else. There's some more stuff I wanted to cover here. Sadly, it's another shooting, but this one is in America. Yeah. Yeah. CNN, 2 killed and 5 others injured in shooting outside a high school graduation venue in Richmond, Virginia. Let's see here. A gunman opened fire as hundreds of people stood outside after a high school graduation ceremony Tuesday evening in Richmond, Virginia, killing 2 people and wounding 5 others, the city's interim police chief said. Also, a 9-year-old girl was hit by a car. It just kind of, she was trying to run away, she was trying to run away. Just in all the chaos that happened, but her injuries are not life-threatening. Excuse me, I had a burp. But let's see, they initially thought 2 people were involved, but they later just narrowed down to 1 person. Let's see here. I believe it was. Let me just read it. Police initially detained two people, but later said one was not involved. The other, a 19-year-old who investigators think may have known one of the victims and had four handguns, was held Tuesday night, and police will recommend 2 counts of second-degree murder against him. Let's see. Killed were an 18-year-old student who graduated Tuesday and a 36-year-old man who had attended the ceremony. They weren't identified as of this article. But yeah, I mean, it's a shame that in these like moments that are supposed to be so celebratory, supposed to be like the marking of, this is a big milestone you've just crossed, and to literally have your life snuffed out in these moments is crazy. I mean, to be of any moment, like it's not like you have to make an example of this. This shit happens every day in America, and yeah, it's fucking sad, man. Uh, Neither of these people deserved what happened. Obviously, I don't know though what sparked the situation, why this person brought four handguns. But yeah, I mean, it was at least a good situation. There were off-duty officers who were working security at the ceremony, so they were like, there on the spot. So that's good that at least it didn't, get worse with time or anything like that. I don't know. Yeah, I think we ran out of road with this. I don't know. It's another day. It's another shooting. Sadly, Let's see. Let's talk about some lighter shit. Let's actually get to what I was kind of teasing in the beginning of this podcast. From Reuters, U.S. East Coast blanketed in eels. I wish we were blanketed in eels. That'd be fucking wild. The U.S. East Coast blanketed an eerie veil of smoke from Canada fires. Now, I feel like this is a true ass, big ass Canada story. And like, just because of the POV, at least from America, like, we're just really worried about like, it's so hazy out here. It's fucking crazy. But I know that there's been a lot of like wildfire activity in Canada. Maybe, and not to use a pun here, but like I'm a bit burnt out. We've talked about wildfires in California, and it's crazy that this is just gonna be like, this is the way it is, y'all. Like, you know what I mean? I've said it before. I'll say it again. Global warming's a fucking thing. We just kind of have to live with this shit. But it's crazy that, Canada's having this same fucking issue. And they're having it so bad that literally the smoke, the particles, all that fucking shit is just moved. It moved south. And it hit a lot of the East Coast. So let's go ahead and start from the article here. Really, a lot of this is focused, I feel like, in New York. But schools across the East Coast canceled outdoor activities. Commercial airline traffic was slowed, and millions of Americans were urged to stay indoors on Wednesday as smoke from Canadian wildfires drifted south, blanketing cities in thick yellowish haze. I would say that at least when I looked and saw a lot of pictures, it was a lot of orange. Like the New York skyline is literally just orange. But I mean, this shit literally, Ohio's catching strays here, okay? Like I said, I was literally out here and it was cloudy. And I'm like, it just doesn't feel like a cloudy day, if that makes sense, but it is. But overall, like the weather hasn't been bad. It's been a little bit cooler, I think, just because of all the cloud cover. But I was just thinking like, oh yeah, this is just Ohio weather, bipolar as hell. But it turns out like no, like the U.S. National Weather Service issued air quality alerts for a lot of areas, from Vermont to South Carolina, as far as Ohio, and Kansas. So yeah, it was really bad. But like I heard a lot of just air, just blood. Look, it looks like fallout in New York and New Jersey right now. That's all I can say, But yeah, I mean, just crazy how a fire in one place can just do so much damage, so far out. Like literally warping weather. But But yeah, hopefully everyone is staying indoors, minding their P's and Q's. I know, like, I'm mildly asthmatic, so it was already gonna be rough. And like I said, I decided, oh yeah, let's go ahead and smoke a cigarette. And I'm still stinky, and now my throat hurts. That's life. But yeah, I mean, I think it's supposed to go through this weekend in terms of the air quality alert. As of the fires, like I said, this article really did not give a fuck. It mentions it like once, and they kind of move along. But yeah, hopefully the fires are quelled. As a news commentary guy, I should be telling you guys that. But hey, look, there's L's all around. There's a lot of news in the air right now. It's not just particles. Okay, we're doing what we can. All right, all right, all right. We got another thing to cover here. Some actual CNN news, but we're not at CNN. Kind of felt a little navel gazy to use CNN here because it's about the CEO getting fired. Man, the word of the year might be ousted. It might be. But from the Hollywood Reporter, CNN CEO Chris Light ousted after a tumultuous year. I think I kind of just want to freeball this and just kind of use the article as a reference. I've kind of sourced this from a few things. The best thing I've listened to so far was from the Journal. They literally just do a 17-minute just breakdown of Chris Light, his whole little career. He went from producer to CEO. He was, what's this guy's name? David Zaslav. He was like his, I don't want to say flunky, but Politico sure shit did. They were a bit too scathing in my opinion, but I get it. If it's an editorial, you're gonna talk that good shit. But Chris Light, he was a very promising kind of rising guy in the industry. And David Zaslav said, okay, we're doing a lot of shakeups. David Zaslav, we've talked about him a little bit before. He is the CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery. Since their merger, he's been the top guy. And he's been cutting shit left and right. He was actually a part of the CNN cut for CNN Plus. And, Chris Light was more or less like, okay, yeah, that's fine. I totally am with that. That's what we got to do. And also, I feel like maybe this is Zaslav's vision. Maybe it was Chris Light's vision. Who knows what is what? Maybe they just shared it, what have you. But they wanted to make CNN less liberal. Like, they wanted to make it more moderate. Just something more in between that. And they felt like by doing that, it was going to make CNN more watchable to people. And I think that's not the money move. And I think that's proven in the ratings that they've kind of gotten. It's been dropping. They haven't been doing well. But you could be saying that that's kind of just the way that it is for all cable news. Like, I think Fox News has been struggling. That's why they did all that floundering back, during the election time to try to, keep attention on what the viewers wanted. Okay, fine. Trump did win. Whatever. They were willing to say whatever, and they're a news organization. And I think for CNN, the vision here was let's just be more in the middle of the road, and we'll make more people happy. But along the way, shit just was not working out. Don Lemon was being way too sassy on Maine, got the whole fucking label into trouble, which naturally kind of falls into Light's, purview. What are you going to do with this? And they finally got around to firing him. Maybe a little too late, maybe some would say. Also, I think there were others on staff who were just not liking the way things were going, especially post the Trump town hall situation, which I gotta say, maybe I'm just dumb or numb here. I did not think that was the biggest L that CNN has taken. To me, the bigger L was going more to the middle, because that's just not what CNN is just known for. Whether you like CNN or you don't like CNN, you look at it as this is liberal media. It's the epitome. That's the example you use. So for them to try to do anything else is just weird. It just looks weird. I get the idea, but it just doesn't work. It's just Fox News trying to fucking do the same. It just doesn't work. They have to pander to the right. They just have to. It's the only way they make money. But this idea of saying, hey, we're going to take Trump. We're going to put him on the network. We're going to put him on a network show. And I think something that, listening to the Journal episode, the idea of having it being like a casual town hall where you don't have people quiet and like you don't really have a like you're supposed to have a mixed profile of people in the group, but instead this was just a lot of pro Trumpers, and it just I think it doesn't matter, man. Like whether you like Trump, whether you hate Trump, Trump knows how to work a camera. He knows how to be entertaining to a group of people. Might not be group entertaining to me or you. You might think the shit he's saying is stupid, but it can get a reaction out of people. He knows that. He's good at that. In the town hall, he just worked the room. Said so much stupid shit. Did not really answer any questions in his favor, but it just looked like they were pandering to Trump and they were just giving Trump a bump on their show. And it's like, shouldn't you be letting Fox News do this? Why is this happening? And I think a lot of people were really put off by it, especially people in-house. And so at this point, Chris Light comes up on Monday. He's doing mea culpas. Because on top of this too, after all this shit, you find out there was an article from, I think, The Atlantic, where he literally just gave these people access into his life for this whole year that he's been CEO, and they just ripped him to shreds. And I get the idea of just being like an open book, saying, hey, I have nothing to hide, but like, you are showing them your life, and like, you are just showing them literally all the L's you're taking. And they just got to take away and give a scathing review. And once again, this just is heaping dog shit on CNN. They just look even worse. So yeah, I mean, he's doing this mea culpa. He's doing this I'm sorry dance. And I think the higher ups were like, yeah, Zaz, why don't you fucking do the thing where you just cut the shit, bro? Do this motherfucker like Batwoman and fucking can him. And he did. He got on a fucking group meeting or whatever and said, yeah, it's over. He's kaput. He's a great guy, but I'm taking responsibility for this one. This one's on me. You can put the blame on me. He Akon'd. He had to. Truly. But yeah, I mean, that's the rise and fall of Chris Light. Yeah, at least as I see it. I have one more thing to cover, and then I will let you go. And it is sad news. So yeah, let me go ahead and hit the candle. Ooh. Okay. All right. All right. From TMZ Sports, the Iron Sheik, wrestling legend, dead at 81. So, yeah, I mean, it is RIP to the Iron Sheik. He died at the age of 81. I do not know the causes, but they, at least from a statement that was put up on his media page, I believe he died peacefully. So yeah, that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like that's all you can ask for in a life, whether you're famous or you're not. To be able to die at peace with your loved ones, the people you care about. I think that's the ultimate victory. I think that's the best you can hope for. But yeah, I mean, the Iron Sheik lived an amazing life, an amazing man. Hassan Kozov Ali Vizari, probably butchered that. Sorry, but definitely this isn't someone in my lexicon of just like wrestlers and I'm like, oh my god, like, oh, I love him, but like he's one of the wrestlers who I got to look back at when I like look at the history of wrestling and I'm like, oh my god, dude, he's so cool. Like just one of the best heels, one of the best performers in the game to do it. To be able to play opposite of someone like Hulk Hogan and still be like just a bright ass, sterling ass fucking personality, like that's worth the time and effort. I think that's amazing. And I think he was a man who was great in the ring and outside of the ring. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely going to be a big space in his wake. And obviously I'm not going to give him, the best. Like, I mean, I'm not giving him the best. I'm just a dude, but, great man, great wrestler. Happy to have shared the earth with this dude. So yeah, that's what we have. That's the episode. Um, if you'd like to help out the effort, I do have a Patreon, patreon.com/Isaiah News. You get access to all the old little bonus content or any future content I do. I'll pop a little Patreon up there, maybe, that's the thing. Also, you get a hot link to the Discord. That's free. Just hit me up, though. And then also, you get newsy shout outs once a month. I say your name on the podcast. I plug whatever project you're on you'd like me to talk about. And yeah, I mean, it's a vibe. Let's see. Also, free ways to hit me up, isaiahnews1@gmail.com. Also, I'm on Facebook. I'm on Twitter, Instagram, both myself, the podcast itself, however you'd like to reach me. There's also the YouTube. That will have the non-ad if you're interested. That's, we'll fair compromise. Yeah, feel free to subscribe to that, comment on any of those things, and I'll see it. I'm not doing anything better with my life. I'm just hanging out, y'all. It's that or crushing some cardboard, But yeah, that's it. That's the episode. Hopefully you're staying safe. You're staying, well ventilated, nice and cool, collected, and hopefully I see you soon for some more good news. I love ya. Bye bye. Mwah.